Hey folks, today we're going to be talking about how to build your team and what to watch for when you're fighting opponents. Let's start with this here, the Prince of Verdain Jamka. And let's go to Lunatic. Now the first thing you want to do when it comes to deciding how to build your team is look at what you're up against. Chances are in this game you're not going to have one set team that's going to help you do everything. For example, here you're going to need a combination of folks. And if I remember correctly, no, there aren't any reinforcements in this map, but you always want to check to make sure there aren't reinforcements who come during the map. This one's fairly straightforward. You have Blue Cavalier with Keen Blarwolf. You have a red mage with Raw Raven. He's got low speed. He's got moderate speed. You got Jamka, who's got the Sling Bow, Astra, Heavy Blade, but he's got Astra ready to go, so that's going to hurt a whole bunch. You got a Lance Flyer with QR and close defense, so you have to bait him. Otherwise, Reprisal Lance is going to hit you. Yeah, you don't want to initiate against him. You want to bait him. And then we've got the Axe Knight, who's got Wary Fighter, Wogun, and Bonfire. Now, what does any of this mean? Well, even when I'm doing maps like these, I try to check what all of these skills do before I make a decision on my team comp. Or at least my first run at team comp. If you've seen me do these, usually it takes a little bit before I get the right combination. And part of that is a number of things. First of all, it's the units I have available, which is admittedly growing in number, which is good. But it's also not the best, breadth of heroes. For instance, I don't have someone like Bridal Catria who could make this map easier. I don't have anyone like, who's another meta unit? I don't have Henriette, so I can't enemy phase these two. I don't have Hector with Far Save, so who pretty much nullifies this entire map. Brave Hector with Far Save, rather. So you want to think about what is going to give you the best opportunity to succeed here with who you have. For example, Blue Cavalier, Keen Blarwolf. Okay, that's telling me we can't bait him with a cavalry unit. So we're going to use someone who's not a cavalry. It's most likely going to be a infantry or a flyer with high res. We have someone here with Rotter Raven, who gives weapon advantage against colorless. So it's going to be probably a blue foe, probably a blue unit who's flying or has high res. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go to our team, and we're going to sort by res. And I'm going to clear that. Usually I have those two at the top so that I know which fodder units I can farm hero merit for so I can get more feathers. But in this case, we're just going to look at who we've got. And in this case, we have a number of options. We have Tatiana is a good free-to-play option. So I think I'm going to use her to deal with that first set of foes. We have Jamka, and we have to engage on him. Chances are it's going to be a res unit with a high amount of speed. So typically, you're not going to get a lot of, especially Jamka here, who has a bit of heft to him. The damage calculation here is attack minus res. So what you need here is someone who can do either 70 damage in one shot, or someone who can withstand an Astra blow of How much damage is that? That's a lot of damage. Man. It's gonna be a lot of damage. And we can't use Henry here. We could use Henry, actually. Why don't we try Henry? Why don't we try Henry? Because you want someone with high defense. I mean, yeah, so we know that someone with high defense can sustain an attack from the Axe Knight and from Jamka. Let's look at this Axe Knight's abilities. So he's got Heavy Blade. So if his attack is greater than the foe's attack, grants +1 charge per unit's attack. Okay, so that accelerates his bonfire. So what that basically means is against a normal opponent, his count would go from 3 to 1 after he engages. And then on retaliation, he has bonfire ready. Normally it would go from 3 to 2, -1. But since he has Heavy Blade, that's going to accelerate his cooldown charge. So if we bait him, we'd have to kill him next round. Which is okay, because we've already got a heavy res unit here tanking these two. And then we've got this Axe Knight, who's going to be engaging on our red unit. Now, finally, we've got to look at this Lance Flyer. And for him, we want a high defense green unit. Because we want him to engage. Or do we want a high speed green unit? We want a higher speed green unit. So let's sort by speed. And Hana looks like the best idea. Now, Hana has a Deck Swabber, so that's going to debuff her opponent. And a support unit here could do really well. So I want to add Marth. Now, Marth's Falchion gives him a really good buff to allies within 2 spaces. And we're going to give this a go, just to see how it works against these opponents. So we have a plan of attack. We're going to bait here with Titania. Or Tatiana.
You got it.
Eventually, we're going to attack here with Henry.
Okay.
We want
Together.
Marth here, so he can get his Falchion buff on Titania, because he's now within 2 spaces of her.
Not a problem.
And we'll keep Hana here because we want to bait this Lance Flyer. I'm expecting the Lance Flyer to come forward. So let's see what happens. As predicted, the res works here. That's pretty good. That wasn't what I expected, but that's okay. And part of that is because this Lance Flyer has guidance. So what that means is infantry and armored allies within 2 spaces can move to a space adjacent to the unit. So the Lance Flyer moved to here, which allowed Jamka to move from here to here and attack Hana.
Where to next?
And that's a problem for us right now. But we can
Okay.
move Henry here.
I'm in. Not a problem.
How are we going to get Hana out? I think Hana's dead. Yeah, I think this is bad.
Where to
Unless... Yeah, we can get Hana out.
You got
And this is why you always look for skills. See, so now, second time through, we know guidance is a problem. So instead of keeping Henry down here, we're going to put Henry where Hana was.
Where to next?
Understood.
And let's see how that changes things. So Tatiana gets those two. Oh my god. That's right, Marth's still in range too. So you have to remember that with guidance, it can work on any space adjacent to the unit.
Okay. Not a problem.
Now the fortunate thing here is we still have a backup plan.
I'm in. Oh, right.
That's not gonna work. So let's bide our time here. And the rest of this is just cleanup. That's Moonbow, but we're not too concerned with that because Henry's gonna nuke him.
This way?
I love Henry.
Where to
And Hana's just gonna get the kill here. So something I should mention here is all of these units are 3 or 4 star or summonable from Grails. So it's possible to do well in this game with the right formations. I'll be right back.